Time now for Pick 6, brought to you by BetMGM. Place your money line, prop parlay, and same game parlay bets at BetMGM. You can download the app today. As always, please gamble responsibly. We've got 6 games. We do it every week. We pick against the spread. Mark's got his deuce dog of the week. We're going to talk about a little underdog. Reminder, these lines are current as of Tuesday, so they obviously can change. Game number 1. It is time for the Iron Bowl, Mark Ingram. This year, it is in Tuscaloosa, where the Auburn Tigers have not won a game since 2010. Remember, the Tigers outlasted A&M last week. They now sit 1 win away from bowl eligibility. You're tied, favored by 11.5.
We got to bring up bad stuff, man. We could have left that 2010 nugget out. That was a nasty nugget. That wasn't no saucy.
That was too saucy for you?
That was a nasty nugget. That loss still pains me to this day. But anyways, 3 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 3 points or fewer. So we know no matter what the records are, you can throw them out the window. This is going to be a dogfight. And it comes, man, listen, the Alabama defense, I just appreciate them because they've gotten better and better throughout the season. They have been having trouble stopping the run. Gave up 257 rush yards to Oklahoma last week, and they have a good back coming in this week for Auburn, man. So they'll need to be on point. They'll need to shore up that run defense. But it all comes down to Jalen Milroe. When he plays the way he's capable of playing, Alabama is the most dominant team in college football. When he takes care of the football, he makes the right reads, we are a tough team to beat. He's had 8 interceptions in his last 7 games, had 3 interceptions last week. I see Alabama getting back on track in this Iron Bowl, man, because there's a lot of chirp going on. I don't know if you've been hearing it, man, but there's been a lot of chirp on the Auburn side. You know, they saying this. They saying Ryan Williams ain't one of them guys. They saying Jalen Milroe ain't one of them guys.
Do not poke the Ryan Williams bear. What are you thinking?
Saying Bama ain't one of them guys. So it's going on in the media. They popping their stuff. But, hey, I know Bama, they just getting ready. They behind the scenes. They got to bounce back, man, because the last week was detrimental loss, man. So if you want any hope at all of possibly even being one of them 3 lost teams to get in, you got to dominate this week in the Iron Bowl. And I got my tie rolling.
All right. Iowa State hosting Kansas State. Do you guys know what this is? Do you know what time it is? Nope. It's time for Farmageddon. That's right.
Farmageddon.
Farmageddon. They have met every year since 1917, making it one of the longest continuous series in college football history. It is also one of just 2 never interrupted rivalries in college football. Farmageddon. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. All right, so the Big 12, as we know, an absolute mess. Listen to this. 250 possible championship game combos exist. Who wants to be the mathematician back in the Big 12 offices trying to figure out who's going to be in the Big 12 championship game? They cannot pay you enough. 9 programs still alive. That includes the Cyclones and the Wildcats. No team controls their destiny. Farmageddon is going to play a big part in it. K-State rolled Cincy last week. Avery Johnson looking healthier than he has been for a while, caused some problems with his legs. Iowa State, remember, had that surprising 2-game losing streak? Well, they've rattled off 2 straight wins since. Last week, 405 yards of offense, 31 points at Utah, at a really good defensive unit, Utah. So they got their offense clicking. They've got the top scoring D in the conference. They've got underrated wideouts and improving QB, Rocco Becht. Folks are going to be talking about Rocco Becht a lot more next season. So it's 2 evenly matched programs. It's 2 teams that recruit really the same guys. And in the end, home field, I think, is going to be the narrow difference maker. I like the Cyclones to cover in Ames in Farmageddon.
That was a lengthy one, Rob.
I just tried to shove Farmageddon in as much as I can.
I got Texas at Texas A&M, and that won't be as long as Rob there.
Coach has got to go somewhere, I can tell.
There is no chance that Texas overlooks, and I mean, you're going to get the best version. I said that the other day when they were throwing a reprieve when there were some losses, because Texas was kind of looking on the outside looking in. One of the best 3 rosters in college football. They're fairly healthy. It's at A&M, and I'm going to say this. I grew up watching this game, Mark, and then some power brokers got together and said, hey, let's not play this game for a while. which
Awful.
That just pisses me off when stuff like that happens. But who knows what was behind what was behind door number 2 of that. This is a Hall of Fame legendary coaches and players played in this game. I can't wait to see it. But I think Texas covers. I think you're going to get better and better versions of Texas Longhorns as they run out the season.
Interesting. The winner of this game, of course, advances to the SEC championship game to take on Georgia. Clemson favored by 2.5 at home to South Carolina. Yeah, I love closing. It's rivalry week. This is what we do. The Tigers, they're going to be doing some scoreboard watching this weekend. A Miami loss, Mark, would put Clemson in the ACC championship game against SMU, but they've got the Gamecocks this weekend.
I've been riding the South Carolina Gamecocks as my underdogs a lot this year, and I'm doing it again. But listen, man, Clemson is a really good team, and they need some help. But listen, Cade Klubnik has been balling. They counted for 3+ touchdowns in his last 3 games. The running back, Phil Maffa, over 1,000 yards, 8 rushing touchdowns this season. But the defense gave up over 288 rushing yards to the Citadel last week. The Citadel last week. And then you got South Carolina, who's one of the hottest teams in the country right now. They won 5 straight, which is the longest active winning streak in the SEC. Got the best point per game differential in the SEC since week 8. And Lenora Sellers has been balling. Raheem Sanders has been balling. They also have the number 2 scoring defense in the SEC during their 5-game win streak. But the matchup I want to highlight is those 2 pass rushing phenoms they got at South Carolina. Kyle Kennard and Dylan Stewart going against the Clemson offensive line that has allowed 9 sacks in the last 2 games against Power 4 teams. So I think they're going to continue that momentum in this game. And I got the South Carolina Gamecocks being my aura. What you think about that,
Deuce, dog of the week.
Think about that, Coach.
Coach is good. Hands up, Coach is good. All right, Coach, I got a question for you. Notre Dame at USC, do you know what they're playing for?
I coached in that rivalry
but do you know what they're playing
7
for?
years. What did they play for?
It's weird. It's an odd one.
What is it?
You're close. The jeweled shillelagh, also known as the bedazzled walking stick.
I remember that.
What is a shillelagh?
It's a walking stick. It's like a piece of wood, and you just
for an old person.
Yeah, or young people if you just like walking sticks.
Oh,
whatever. All right, so it's in LA. Notre Dame favored by 7.5. For the first time since week 1 and 2, guys, USC has won back-to-back games. They took care of their crosstown rival, UCLA, last week. It was a tight one, not a real pretty one, but it was a win. 19-13, Trojans are bowl eligible. Since they've made the QB change, right? They brought in Jaden Maeva, the Trojans, 2-0. This clearly, though, is going to be his biggest test. For Notre Dame, since that stunning early September loss at home to Northern Illinois, the Irish, 9 straight wins. That includes dismantling another service academy last week, pounded Army 49-14. A win would guarantee them a playoff spot and most likely a home game as well. And so what an opportunity for Notre Dame's West Coast rival to perhaps ruin their playoff hopes. Just the kind of win that Lincoln Riley and the Trojans need to stabilize their program, to stabilize their recruiting area. It's just the type of chaotic scenario that we have seen week in and week out in college football, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Irish escape LA with a narrow win, but they do not cover. Coach,
wow.
Let's get to the game, the 2 winningest programs in college football history. Wolverines have won the last 3 in this rivalry, but the Buckeyes, huge favorites in this one in Columbus.
Yeah, I look at that point spread, and that alarms me a little bit. The Buckeyes will win the game. Buckeyes are a much better football team. They have better players right now, but there's a little bit of fight in the Wolverines right now. They played their best game last week. I know it was against Northwestern, but they settled on a quarterback. They look better. I did a lot of homework on this game and just why. Jim Harbaugh left on the 24th of January, Mark.
24th of January.
So the transfer portal was open. I want to say it closed December through January 2nd. There was everybody was talking about Harbaugh leaving. They had no idea who was going to become the new head coach. So all that they're going to lose 18 players to the draft or 18 starters. They have serious quarterback issues. And I was like, how do you not fix that? So of the top 25 transfer portal quarterbacks, 23 of them were signed and done by the time the new head coach is named at the Wolverines. I'm going to talk about that on Big Noon this weekend, because how does that happen? How does a national champion, one of the best teams in the last 20 years, that was a hell of a team now.
Yes.
Yeah.
They leave, they're going to leave. They were all seniors. That was a senior team, and you're wondering what happened. The more research I've done, I know exactly what happened. If I'm a transfer quarterback, why would I go there? If I'm a transfer receiver, I don't know,
who's going to throw it to me?
Yeah, who's going to throw it to me? And where's this coach? Who's this coach? What's going on here? I'm not throwing darts at anybody. I was trying to figure out how does a team go from one of the great teams of all time, momentum on your side, obviously good academic skill, all this stuff you can sell, and you're left at the most important position where you're playing, you're just rolling guys through there. So that's just a little history of it. I think Ohio State wins, but I don't know if they cover. 21 is a lot of points. I think it's going to be a 20, it's going to be an 18, 19, 20. That's a lot of points. So I'm going to say Ohio State wins, but I don't think it's going to be that close, but I'm saying 18 points.
Point spread wise, if Michigan is to upset the Buckeyes, it would be the biggest upset point spread wise in the history of the game.
Wow.